It was about 3:30 in the morning, and there was like a massive bang, and the building started to shake, and quite hard straight away. And I jumped up, and I had no idea what it was. I thought maybe like an oven or something had exploded downstairs or something. And I opened the door of I was in a small room on the third floor of this hostel, which I was very lucky to be in. I looked out the window, and the whole building was shaking. The lights were going out all over the city. You could see fire starting, sirens going off, alarms, and the shaking wasn't stopping. And it was really getting more and more powerful. And I realised then exactly what was happening. I knew exactly straight away then. It's my first earthquake. What an introduction. I went down there on Thursday. The idea was to go hiking in the Cordillera. And I arranged to get the bus out of Talca the next morning to the Cordillera. I had to get up at 6 in the morning. And that night, which is the night the earthquake happened, I was in bed. I couldn't sleep because I thought I was really excited by the idea of hiking. And I'd bought some food and some water, which came in handy, as you can imagine. The whole place was shaking. I was standing in a doorway, completely naked, door open. Everyone was screaming in the hostel, running around like lunatics. First thing I did was I put my underpants on, but I put them on backwards. So I've been wearing my underpants for 3 days backwards. A couple of walls collapsed in the hotel. The main structure stayed upright. Someone told me to go outside in the street because the building would collapse. Another person outside said you better go back in because the electric cables are falling down and they could electrocute you. After the first main shake, we got a quake which lasted about 3 to 5 minutes, I think, but felt like a lot longer. Everyone was trying to phone loved ones or send text messages. No one could make any connection. And that's when you heard gunshots outside in there could have been a few hundred yards, maybe half a mile from where we were, I don't know. Because the local jail had suffered damage and prisoners had got out. And they were being chased by guards or cops who were shooting at them. When dawn broke, I left the hostel because I really wanted to see what happened to the city, because I had no idea. I just had no idea what to expect. The hostel building was still standing. Got out on the road, and you could see where bits of walls had fallen down or a roof had caved in. But when I went up the main street, that's when I really saw the really devastating damage. Talca is half destroyed. The hotels, shops, houses, piles of rubble. I mean, you've seen my photographs. They don't even show half that. Some of the really strong replicas afterwards, they brought down more stuff, like the churches, towers came down. And people were walking around in a daze, didn't know what to do with themselves. Just mouths open, and people going around on bikes taking photographs with their mobiles, as if like for a memento. No one could quite believe what happened. We started getting refugees from other touristy refugees and Chilean refugees coming into the hostel, because ours was one of the few hostels that suffered limited damage. The hostel that I was going to stay in originally was a pile of rubble when I went out that morning. I was very, very lucky, and I think I'm quite lucky to be alive. And the more time that passes from the event, I'm more and more aware of that. Like, I was laughing and making fun of it when I was there, all the time joking, being my usual self, joking and telling stories. But now I'm starting to realise I was very, very, very lucky. You know, it's very easy for gringos to cry and wail and say how hard it was for them. And I have no sympathy for them. It wasn't nice. I mean, believe you me, it wasn't nice. I mean, because it does make you realise that if I'd made a few alternative decisions, I would probably be dead. I mean, we were lucky. We had the option of getting out, even though we didn't know that at the time. 3.5 days was probably enough, hanging around without proper food, electricity and water and stuff. But the people who have to stay there and rebuild their lives, that's the real problem. And they're the ones that really, really suffer. I mean, compared to them, we're relatively well off. Nothing to complain about.